Hi. Well, it's been a while, but welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the vlog. So today, a really miserable day. It's cold, it's wet, and yes, miserable. Wanted to talk about being homeless, and weather like it is now, it's not a pleasant thing, is it? So this kind of kicked off with, or started off with, I was up in Plymouth a couple of weeks ago now, something like that, and we were walking around, and I walked past. There's always loads of sort of like homeless people out there and whatever, but walked past this particular guy who didn't look like he particularly fitted in with the rest of it. He sat on his own, not with the groups that they normally get. And we don't know, it was just something about him. So we went into the mall, and I went into M&S, and while we're in there, I thought I'll pick him up just a sandwich and a packet of biscuits and a drink. So did that, walked back out to him. He was sat opposite, for those of you who know Plymouth, sat opposite McDonald's. Not sure what the shop was called, but yeah, he was sat there, and when I got there, he disappeared. I thought, typical. So I was just going to put the stuff down in his little area, but just as I was about to sort of put it down there, he walked back across from McDonald's, and he had a cup of, I don't know, coffee, hot chocolate, whatever in his hand, and walking with a stick as well. So when he came back over, he said to me, you came back? So I was like, huh? So he said, yeah, he said, I saw you walk past a couple of times earlier. So I thought, well, he's clearly cognitive and coherent. And like I say, he didn't seem sort of like the sort of person you would see there normally. Late 20s, early 30s, I suppose. Quite clean shaven, very clean looking. So yeah. But anyway, I gave him his stuff, and he sort of said, thanks very much, really appreciate it. Shook my hand, and I sort of said to him, I said, it can't be overly nice for you, like weather like this, sitting out here, freezing cold, pouring with rain. So he said, no, he said, it ain't great. So I said tonight, if you don't mind me asking, what's your story? How come you're here? So he said, what, you actually want to know? So I said, yeah, so I'm interested. I said, by the way, what's your name? So he told me his name, and I told him mine. And anyway, he sort of said that he was normal person, job, flat, all the niceties in life, the normal things. He got made redundant from his job, which he hadn't actually been in the job for that long, so no redundancy. So he was left with a flat to pay for, no job. And as we all know, jobs are really hard to find at the moment. So he just spiraled into debt. He kept borrowing to pay his rent, maxed out his credit cards and stuff to pay the rent, borrowed off of friends and family to pay the rent. You can see where that's going. He knew that keeping the flat was important, but unfortunately, he said he got in so much debt that he couldn't afford the rent, and then before he knew it, he'd been kicked out, and there he was on the streets. He sort of said he's hopeful he's going to get somewhere. He said he was waiting for a phone call back from the council presumably this was on a Saturday, so presumably on the Monday, to see whether he could get emergency housing somewhere. But nice bloke, you know, and I quite enjoyed having a chat with him. So anyway, as I went, I sort of said to him, right, I better shoot off. So he said, thanked me again for the bits and pieces I'd given him, and then he said to me, this really got to me actually. He said to me, I really appreciate the fact that you asked my name. He said, people don't. He said, I've not had anybody ask my name yet. So he thanked me for that, and then he gave me a hug. You know, it's like, it was quite upsetting really, that he feels like that. But anyway, off I went on my way. But it just made me sort of like think that we all, you know, we've all got our jobs, and we all sit in our nice warm houses, flats, whatever, you know, sitting down having dinner every evening, and it's all just, I don't know, maybe we just take it for granted, when really, I mean, I think I watched a programme the other week, and it sort of said, you know, we're all sort of like, you know, 2 paychecks away from living on the streets. How true that is, I don't know, but it certainly made me think that that could be a possibility, because at the end of the day, like you say, he was working, job, you know, flat and everything, and now he's got nothing, he's on the streets. So it just made me think that you know, we should all be grateful for what we've actually got, and sometimes, I know I do, you take it for granted a little bit, and it's, my eyes were open before anyway, but it really opened my eyes to the fact that, like, you know, we look at these people and think they're just sort of like, you know, they're worthless, they're nothing because they're out on the street, you know. Some of them choose to be like that, and they choose to live that way, and they don't really want to do anything other than that. They're quite happy doing it. I don't know why they would be like that, but some of them do. But people like him certainly don't, to my mind, certainly don't deserve to be like that. So it just made me, like I say, it just made me think that you know, we should be a bit more thoughtful towards them, and if you do see them, and if you can afford it, just buy them some food, just buy them a drink. I also gave him some money, and I did sort of say to him, I don't normally give money, and he said no, he said, I don't drink, he said, I don't do drugs, he said, that's why I presume you don't give people like me money. So I said, no, that's exactly right, but I said, like, I can tell that, you know, you're not like that. And he said, no, he said, I don't do that sort of thing. Yeah, like I say, it's pouring rain, it's freezing cold, the weather's shit. It's going to be dark soon, even colder. It's going to be freezing tonight, I think. And I'm now walking back to my nice warm house and for something to eat, which is something that these people don't get to do, and he certainly doesn't. So yeah, just like I say, just spare a thought for people like that when you walk past them. If you can't afford to give them anything, just to smile and say hi or whatever, you know, will probably mean something to them, because most people don't. Anyway, that's enough of my sanctimonious waffle for today. I will endeavour to upload more videos, but life just takes over and just end up being busy doing lots of other things. One of them being Breakfast Club, which new video dropped on Sunday, just gone. We were at Mocky, so if you're interested in that, go and have a look, and hopefully you want to do a like and subscribe for that channel and for this one. But I'll link Breakfast Club down below, and go and have a look, because it's a lot of fun. We have a right old laugh doing it, and yeah, we certainly appreciate your watching. And if you got any comments about my videos or those videos, stick them down below, and we will see what you've got to say. But anyway, so I'm going home now, so I will catch you on the next one. All right, cheers guys, bye.